Karnataka already leads India in digital payments, broking, and online insurance. But it's not stopping there. With plans to expand fintech infrastructure into rural India and train an AI-ready workforce, the state is gunning for a $550 billion fintech economy by 2030. What's the roadmap and who's making it happen? I'm going to tell you all about it on this episode of Point Break. From Razorpay to Grow, from Acko to Zerodha, it's no accident they all call Bengaluru home. But the state's ambitions go far beyond metro borders. So is Karnataka the undisputed fintech capital of India? And what's next for startups trying to ride the AI and compliance wave? I'll get to that right after a quick roundup of all that's making the waves in the world of AI. OpenAI is making moves again, this time in the coding space. ChatGPT Maker acquired AI-powered coding platform Windsurf in a deal worth $3 billion. Just weeks ago, OpenAI was reportedly in talks with Cursor, another rising star in AI dev tools. But in the end, they picked Windsurf. So what is Windsurf? It started out in 2021 as ExaFunction, a GPU optimization startup launched by MIT grads Varun Mohan and Douglas Chen. But as generative AI took off, they pivoted first to Codium, then finally to Windsurf, an AI-native coding assistant. With this acquisition, OpenAI will step directly into competition with dev-first platforms like Cursor, Replit, and Lovable. So is this the start of OpenAI's full-stack play for developers? We're watching. From Bollywood to bandwidth, India now wants to lead the global content economy, and it just launched a billion rupee mission to make that happen.
एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म जहां क्रिएटिविटी और कोडिंग एक साथ होगी, जहां सॉफ्टवेयर और स्टोरी टेलिंग एक साथ होगी, जहां आर्ट और ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी एक साथ होगी। आप इस प्लेटफॉर्म का भरपूर इस्तेमाल करिए, बड़े सपने देखिए, उन्हें पूरा करने के लिए पूरी ताकत लगा दीजिए।
At the inaugural Waves 2025, the World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi called on the world's storytellers to create in India, create for the world. The summit saw big tech back that vision. Adobe CEO Shantanu Narayan spotlighted India's 100 million plus creators and 500 million OTT users, calling it the next creative superpower. Adobe's Firefly AI models were front and center, along with a pitch for ethical AI and creator credit. YouTube CEO Neil Mohan went a step further, announcing a 850 crore rupee investment to boost India's creator economy. He revealed 15,000 plus Indian channels now have over 1 million subscribers. With creators like Mark Rober and Slaypoint's Gautami Kawale joining him on stage, Mohan emphasized how India's regional stories are now going global thanks to AI-driven dubbing and localization. India's space dreams just got a major boost. The government of Karnataka signed 2 landmark MOUs with InSpace to set up a space manufacturing park and a center of excellence for space technology in the state. With ISRO, a thriving startup base, and the highest number of MSMEs in the country, Karnataka has already been fueling India's space economy. Over the last 18 months, the state has rolled out key initiatives, including the Draft Space Technology Policy 2024-29, to support this ecosystem. The new MOUs will unlock manufacturing clusters, testing infrastructure, and R&D pipelines, setting Karnataka on course to become the launchpad for India's private space sector. If you're building a fintech startup in India, chances are you're building it in Karnataka. And there's a reason. At the recent World FinTech Summit, industry leaders dropped some serious stats. Karnataka holds over 60% of India's market share in digital payments, broking, and online insurance. Just last year, the fintech industry here was worth $100 billion. By 2030, they're gunning for $550 billion. That's a projected growth rate of 30.5%. And this isn't just Bengaluru's game. The government is going beyond the startup capital, taking fintech infrastructure to tier 2 and rural areas, with over 700 digital services already deployed. So, what's the exact plan? Let's break it down. Karnataka isn't just riding the wave, it's building the engine. And it's doing it more than just hype. The state has become the startup capital of India, housing over 25,000 startups, with 40% of the country's unicorns birthed here. But the real shift? It's what's happening beyond Bengaluru. At the World FinTech Summit, Karnataka IT and BT Minister Priyank Kharge dropped a bold claim. We're not just hosting startups, we're engineering a pipeline that spans from academic campuses to IPOs. This is part of the government's Beyond Bengaluru mission, an initiative to decentralize innovation by tapping into tier 2 cities like Hubli, Mysuru, and Mangaluru, integrating them into the global tech supply chain.
Till now, our focus was in Beyond Bengaluru program. That is like it was focused heavily on trying to create incubation infrastructure, trying to create startup ecosystems beyond Bengaluru. And I think we have been largely successful in that. A place like Mysore is now exporting close to around 3,000 crores in IT services. Mangaluru is exporting close to around 2,500 crores in IT services. And that has led to the startup ecosystem also being very agile. So your Mangaluru, Manipal, Udupi belt has more than 500 startups. Mysuru has more than 400 startups. Hubli, Dharwad, Belgavi division has more than 400, 500 startups. So that is picked up. Now, like you rightly said, and this is a conversation that has been happening for across forums, across platforms, wherein we need to go beyond the startup ecosystem.
And they're not going solo. Industry leaders like Prashant Prakash of Axel and Harshal Mathur of Razorpay echoed the same. Karnataka isn't just building policy, it's building ecosystems. We now see fintech founders emerge from Dharwad, not just Koramangala, Prashant pointed out. That's when you know the movement is real. And there's more than just optimism. The state has set up tech hubs, startup cells, and even fintech valleys, not just to support founders, but to nurture them from day zero. The vision? Turning Karnataka into a product innovation factory, where founders are encouraged not just to build clones, but category creators. Our focus is on deep tech, AI, semiconductors, not just on being the back office of the world, Priyank said. But as the state builds this innovation runway, one question looms large. What's next? What more can Karnataka's FinTech Center of Excellence, COE, unlock? Turns out, the idea for the COE wasn't cooked up in isolation. It was born from one of India's strongest public-private collaborations yet. Unicorns like Cred, Razorpay, and others from the FinTech Task Group came together with a single ask to the government. Give us a platform to build with you. And the state listened. The result? A functional future-facing COE that's already taking shape under the guidance of industry leaders and policymakers alike. So what's the next frontier? Skilling.
One of the biggest reasons people come to set up fintech infrastructure in Bangalore, out of all the places, or Karnataka out of all the places in the country, is because of the talent density that we have. We have the best tech talent in the world. We have the best infrastructure talent in the world, and hopefully we'll have the best AI talent in the world as well as going forward. And I think one of the things that we can do with the government is how do we create the right skilling infrastructure so that while Karnataka has the lead today, how do we ensure we maintain that lead so that any future tech company setting up or fintech company setting up anywhere in the country looks at Karnataka as the first hub. And I think talent can play an important role there. And I think we can work with the government to design the right kind of skilling infrastructure, the right kind of infrastructure of talent development so that as the new talent comes into the industry, it's already well prepared and ready to work in the fintech ecosystem. It understands the fintech landscape, and more importantly, going forward, how can we do that in the space of AI? Because almost every fintech company or every tech company for that matter would need AI-ready talent in the years to come.
The ask is simple. How can we co-create skilling infrastructure with the government so that every new fintech or tech company setting up in India sees Karnataka as the first stop? Because tomorrow's fintechs won't just need devs or analysts. They'll need AI-ready talent from day one. And Karnataka's vision? To deliver exactly that, and an ecosystem where the workforce understands fintech, speaks the language of AI, and is ready to build the future. After all, the Karnataka IT minister highlighted that he is no longer positioning Karnataka as an investment destination, but rather the skill capital and the knowledge capital for the world. Well, that's all we have for tonight's episode of Point Break. I'll be back before you know it with more insight, more edge, and more AI. Until then, stay curious, stay sharp, and think AI, think AIM.